Hello everyone, my name is Gabrielle and this video is a tutorial to show you how to use the software Jackrouter with SpatGRIS to do spatialization and also to connect it to your DAW and to the audio interface. So what Jackrouter does is it allows all the different programs on your computer to communicate together. So I will start by showing you how to set up the audio interface and how to install the drivers. After, I'll show you which settings you need to put in Jackrouter for it to work properly. And then I'll open my DAW and SpatGRIS and show you how to link both these programs to Jack. And then we'll just make sure that everything works properly. Right now, I'm at the Studio EXA of the University of Montreal, and the audio interface here is the RME Fireface UFX Plus, also known as Madiface. It's the same one at the Studio B187. So here I have a USB. It's always in this studio. When you open this USB, you'll find this folder, so you can put it on your computer if you want. So inside of this folder, there's the driver for the Madiface, so you should install this first. So now that the driver for the RME is installed, there's two shortcuts that you should create. Now, one thing that's tricky about the installation of the RME is that it doesn't show you in which folder on your computer that it installs it. So if I click my shortcut here and I do open file location, we can see that it installed in OS, Windows, System 32. So the two shortcuts that you should create is this one, Total Mix FX.x, which is the mixing station, and the Madiface USB.x. So this will allow you to change the settings of the Madiface. So I put both of them here. There's two more folders here. There's the EXA, which is where I am. So I will open this. And as you can see, there's basically the Madiface works with Total Mix. So the mixing station is this, but you need to load in a certain template for it to for the sound to come out properly. To prepare the mixing station, you need two things: to load a workspace and to load a snapshot. So to load the workspace, you go to File, Load Workspace. This is the folder of the USB. Click on EXA. Then it's gonna show you only the workspaces. So there's two choices. There's EXA plus sub and EXA equal sub. I'll show you what the difference is. So right now I'll just click equal sub. So yes, discard all changes. And then after you load the workstation or the workspace, you need to load the snapshot. So you do the same thing. Choose the same one that you picked. So I'm gonna choose EXA equal sub and open. So now it should be ready. And you can see also that the snapshot appear on the right here, so you can switch them if you need. So just load the different snapshot and they'll be available here. Okay, I'll show you what the difference between the EXA equal sub and EXA plus sub is. So to go to the matrix, you can go to function and matrix. So as you can see, when your EXA equal sub means that every one of your tracks are gonna have automatically sub in them. While as the EXA plus sub, your subs are only gonna be in the output 13 and 14. So let's say in your DAW, you could create an auxiliary track and then only send the tracks that you want to have sub into the auxiliary track, so it won't be automatically applied to, the subs won't be automatically applied to all your tracks, like, your speaker output here. So I click M to go back to the mixing station. So that part is done. You can close this now. Now for the Madiface USB, one thing you need to know is that by default, you can only see 30 outputs of the audio interface. So if you want to see, there's, I think, 94 outputs total. If you want to see all the outputs, you have to click on mirror, MADI output mirror, and not optical. So usually by default it's on optical, but now you want to put it on mirror and just click OK. And also another trick is sometimes when you have many USB ports on your laptop, for say, you can try to switch the USB ports because sometimes some of them don't see all the outputs. Me, I had to change it. This is useful to know because in the B187, there's way more speakers and you need more than 30 outputs to be able to spatialize properly. Now I will show you which setting to put into JackRouter. There's another important thing you need to do to add output channels in JackRouter. So you will need to modify manually a notepad file. So to do that, you need to find where JackRouter was installed. So I think it's in OS, Program Files, Jack 2. You go to JackRouter. Then you go to Windows. It's 64. So you need to open the jackrouter.ini file. And over here, the input-output, you manually put the number that you want. In SpatGRIS, the maximum number of output you can have is 128. So that's what I put. And then you just save it. So there you go. And also, I had problem once, sometimes it won't let you save directly in the file. So what you can do to bypass that is you copy this and paste it on your desktop. Then you open the .ini file of your desktop and change it. And then save it on your desktop, and then you drag and drop the file from your desktop into this folder, and you click replace file, and then it's gonna work. So now that that's done, I have it's gonna show me all the system outputs. So always open JackRouter first. So open it before your DAW and SpatGRIS or other programs you want to link. So first you will click on Setup. Now in here, Interface, you want to select the audio interface that you want to use. If, for example, I was using the audio on my computer, so the audio driver of my computer, I could select ASIO for all, which is what I use. But yeah, right now I'm gonna use ASIO Madiface USB. After you can select the sample rate that you want and the frames that you want. I put it pretty high because I don't want any glitch during playback, and I'm not recording anything live anyways, so I don't mind the latency. So the sample rate and the frames that you put in JackRouter will be automatically applied to your other programs, so to your DAW and to SpatGRIS, so you can't change it after. So after you need to put the driver at port audio and then select real time. Then you go to Advanced Settings. Here, usually it's this one. Me, I have this one. I don't think it makes a difference. And here, the only thing you need to change is the start delay. So put it at 20 seconds. Basically, this is the number of time that it's gonna take your computer to, it's like the number of times that it takes for Jackrouter to load and to recognize the system, to recognize the audio interface. It might take your computer less time, but 20, like one of my colleagues, it takes his computer 20 seconds to load. So mine takes a little less. So you can try to move this if you want, but 20 seconds is like a safe number. Click apply. Then you can click cancel. Okay, now you need to start Jackrouter. So just click start. And another important thing that we will use is the graph. So now I'm waiting when Jackrouter will be loaded, the system input and output will appear here. There you go. So now I know that it worked because I can see that it's recognizing the audio system. There you go. So basically, the capture one is like if I had a mic in, and so if I was recording sounds. So these are all the outputs from my audio interface. So from the MADI, and all the different programs that I will open will appear in the graph. So now I'm gonna open my DAW and SpatGRIS. So I start with Ableton. Okay, so you open your DAW, then go to Option, Preference, or Control, Then you have to put as the audio device, you have to put Jackrouter. You also have to, in the output configuration, just turn on all the outputs that you want. So me, I put a lot. There you go. So now it should be linked to Jackrouter. Now you're gonna do the same thing with SpatGRIS. So open SpatGRIS. Then you go to File, Settings, and you put the audio input device as Jackrouter. Then you apply, and now SpatGRIS should be linked. So now if I go back to Jackrouter and to the graph, you can see that all my programs appear here. So I have Ableton, I have SpatGRIS here, but the connections are all messed up. So click Ctrl-A to select all. And then click delete. If it doesn't work, try Shift-Delete, and it should delete all the connections. Now, what you will need to do is create the connections yourself manually. So I want Ableton, the output of Ableton, to go into SpatGRIS, and I want SpatGRIS to send its output to my audio interface. So what you will do is put every out in its matching in, so like this, and etc. And you do the same thing for SpatGRIS with the audio interface, like this. Now, after, when you want to, because you don't want to do this every time, so you can save this template. So let's say I want to save this. What you need to do is you go back to, you can close this. You go to Session, and then you click Save. So Save Template. and then you put it in the folder that you want. So me, I have one on my desktop called Jack Router Graph Template. So you just select folder, and it's gonna save the graph that you did. And if you wanna, if let's say I delete all of this again and I wanna call back the graph I just did, you go to Session, Load, then you go to the folder where you saved it, select folder, go to Graph, and now you can see that the connections are back. So that's a lot easier than redoing everything every time. So mine has like all the connections. There you go. So in SpatGRIS, the maximum output you can have is 128. To add output, you just click on the little plus here and you put the number of source you want. Me, I use a lot. But if you put more than this, it's still only gonna give you 128. So these are all my sources. Another important thing is you have to put the proper speaker setup in SpatGRIS. So depending on the studio you're in. So here, the proper setup, you would go to speaker setup template, go to DOM, and then you select DOM 16862 subs2 UDM exa. So if you click this, it's gonna be this setup. As you can see, the two subs are 13 and 14, so that's good. The two up here are 21, 22, so yeah, this is what you're supposed to see. And you can also change the colors here to match, let's say, the tracks in your DAW. And you can save this setup. You just click Save Project As. And again, save it somewhere easy to find. And after, if you want to recall it, you do Open Project and then select the file. So there you go. If you wanted to do a stereo reduction, so let's say if I want to use my headphones and use my laptop speakers, you can click on binaural or stereo. So now I'm just gonna verify if everything works. So I'm gonna put a sound in Ableton. So I'm gonna use a stereo sound. Okay, so let's say I put this. Now, well, I need to put the SpatGRIS plugin and connect it to SpatGRIS. So what you're gonna do now is go to your plugins, your VST, UDM, and then put ControlGris on your track. Now you need to select if it's a mono output or a stereo output. So you will choose that in the number of sources. So if it's mono, you put one source. There you go. And if it's stereo, you put two sources. And the source ID corresponds to the output you're gonna assign to your track. So let's say I put source ID 3. Because I have two sources, I'm gonna put the exterior out 3, 4. So stereo. There you go. So exterior out 3, 4. And then in SpatGRIS, I should see a 3, 4 activate when I play my file. So let's see. And it works. Okay, so let's put this. So there you go. Now you should be able to use SpatGRIS with PC Windows. and with your DAW. So hopefully it works. If you're still having problem, feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my contacts in the description of the video. So my email, and I'll also put useful links like the driver links and the different where you can go to install the different programs. There you go.